And our next guest here on Late Night Cageside, powered by BJPenn.com radio. He is a kickboxer that's Muay Thai, and he's taken off right now. His name is Brett Hlavacek. How you doing tonight, Brett?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing real good. It's just me tonight. Unfortunately, my co-host, he had a family emergency, couldn't be here, so it's just me and you tonight, Brett.
All right.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 29. I've been training Muay Thai for 12, 15 years now. Started early when I was 11, and I live in New York City. I teach full time at Phil Nurse's gym, the Watt in New York, and I've been fighting full time for the past 4 years.
What got you into Muay Thai?
It was like the natural progression. When I was 4, I started Taekwondo. By the time I was 11, I wanted something a little more contact-oriented, and kind of ran into the right people, and then the rest is kind of history.
Now, tonight we've been talking a lot because obviously this last weekend was the UFC on FX8, and Vitor Belfort, that spinning heel kick that got Luke Rockhold. Did you get to see the fights?
I didn't see the fight, but I definitely saw I didn't see all the fights. I saw the highlight, though. That's sick.
So what a sick kick, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, unfortunately for Vitor is that, he can't relish in his victory. A lot of people have to start talking about TRT and PEDs.
Yep.
And obviously that's going to be an issue with him because he is on the exemption list. I wanted to ask you, do you see that a lot in Muay Thai with your kickboxing and other people and when it's just, it's just a kickboxing event? Not
really, honestly. In reference to the PEDs, I don't think they're that. I mean, I'm sure there are guys that are doing them, but it definitely seems like it's more involved in mixed martial arts, where there's more money involved. There's more, it's definitely a little bit bigger of a stage. Some new promotions are coming around now for kickboxing, like Glory, and in the past K1, we're finally offering big purses for people. So I think as the money gets bigger, you may start seeing a little more of that just to get that edge. But, there's not one pill or, a needle that you can take to give you technique, though. It's something you got to do on your own.
Oh, definitely. And that was something that Luke Rockhold actually talked about. He said that, hey, TRT didn't kick me in the face. So, it can only give you so much.
Absolutely.
Now, you've started to make a name for yourself, and we're going to get into that pretty soon here. But first, tell us, what's it like to train under Phil Nurse?
Oh, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I came from New Jersey in about 5-6 years ago, and I was just training kind of part-time. And he kind of took me in and started training. He took me under his wing, gave me a job at his gym, and kind of just mentored me through the whole process. He's great. He's amazing. He always has something to offer. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
When you watch any of his old fights, I mean, obviously the guy is flashy, confident, powerful when he's in the ring. And you watch him, he kind of looks like, and I mean, maybe you could tell him I said this, he looks like a kickboxing Roy Jones Jr., the way he fights. Very confident in the way he throws, powerful punches. There was one fight where I saw he threw like 3 leg kicks in a row, and the guy checked him, and then he threw a head kick and knocked him out. It was insanely awesome. What?
He's an extremely gifted athlete. Some of that stuff you can't teach. He just has those reflexes and the explosiveness.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you think you take after him? Has his flashiness and confidence and powerfulness? I mean, obviously the power is not going to be able to rub off on you, but has the flashiness and the confidence, has that rubbed off on you when you go into the ring?
I think a little. I just kind of naturally gravitated to that style of fighting too. You always want to root for the more exciting guys, So I always try to put on a show. I mean, it's a fight, but it's also a show. So people are going to, definitely tune in or buy a ticket to your fight if you actually put on a show and, put asses in the seats, I guess.
And that's exactly a great point right there. I mean, Muay Thai is an extremely fun sport to watch. I mean, that kickboxing, the way, the striking, the angles, the movement, everything about it is really fluid and fun to watch. And you're going to see a lot more striking. A lot of people will enjoy that. Why do you think it's not in the mainstream here in the States?
I think it's on its way, but Muay Thai isn't super the normal person in, the United States isn't going to tune in and watch, Muay Thai, listen to this crazy music, some of the history behind it they can't identify to. So I think a company like Glory, who's bringing kickboxing to the United States, and they're branding it as their own thing. It's not Muay Thai. It's it's not strictly kickboxing. It's a mix of everything, and it's definitely shorter rounds. I think it's going to appeal to people a lot more than say traditional Muay Thai, which is my love. But I'm right now I'm fighting for Glory.
Again, we're talking to Brett Hlavacek here on Late Night Cageside, powered by BJPenn.com radio. Now, MMA is super popular right now, obviously. It's going into the mainstream. The UFC is finally on, just regular antenna TV. You can get it on Fox now on their events. But people, you seem to see this when the fights are going on. People hate grappling. They hate it. When you see people go to the ground, you hear booing. They only want to see people on their feet, which makes me wonder, again, and this may be just like a follow-up to that last question, it makes me wonder, why don't people like to watch the Muay Thai and kickboxing? It just doesn't make sense to me, because that's what they want to see in fights.
Yeah, like I said, it's not so much like actually watching a fight, but I think it's the traditional and the cultural stuff behind it too. I mean, like I said, when you watch an authentic, Muay Thai fight in in Thailand or wherever, they do play music that goes along with it, and I don't think that's the most appealing music to some people. But I also just think you got to get the right people behind it. There's not enough money in it right now for it to really take off and people to pump money into it and build it up. Right now, that's just starting to happen. So I think give it a couple of years, and I think it's going to definitely pick up.
Now. There are guys on Glory that are making the transition and actually fighting on both Muay Thai, kickboxing, as well as doing mixed martial arts. Is there anything in the future for you in that corner?
Not in my immediate future. I don't. Right now I'm concentrating on just holding my own and Glory. I wrestled all the way through high school, and I was pretty decent. I was competitive, and I liked it, but I always came back to Muay Thai. Now that I'm 29, if I wanted to make a successful transition, I would definitely want to, obviously, be rolling a lot, and, that's going to take away from my Muay Thai and that career. I don't think I have the time for that right now. Right now it's kind of like the middle of my career.
Yeah, that's exactly right. People who, I really think that if you're going to go that full route, you have to be, either you got to have a really, really strong wrestling base already that you don't even have to train it. You can just keep doing what you're doing, because if you had to go to MMA or wanted to go MMA, I think that you'd have to give up that Muay Thai career. I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, it seems like the days of just the stand-up fighter in mixed martial arts, knocking out dudes are kind of over. You got to be good at everything. And the same goes for wrestling and jiu-jitsu guys. They got to learn how to stand up too. So it takes a lot of time, and that's something that, if I had 5 or 6 years, younger, that would be something I would probably, take up or check it out.
Going to MMA. It would be cool. It would definitely be cool to see you go that route, because you have some really sick striking, and I'd really like to see you in the cage against some of these other guys who are strictly strikers. I think it would be fun to watch. Now you got a big fight coming up here at Glory 9. It's at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York on Saturday, June 22nd. You're taking on Paul Marfort. What's he bringing to the table?
Honestly, right now I haven't really paid too much attention to who I'm fighting right now. It's just getting myself ready. But what I have seen, he's a good, solid Muay Thai fighter. He fought internationally a lot. He fought with full rules, which means elbows and knees, but that's not the case in this fight. And he's definitely a little more rangier. He may have a little height on me, so I'm just kind of planning for a taller guy.
Now, you did, in your last 2 fights, you had a unanimous decision win, and you had a 41-second knockout. 2 completely opposite at the end of victories. What's it like when you go into a fight? You're preparing for a full length fight. That's what you prepare for. But you go in there, you beat the guy in the first round, first minute, you knock him out. What is that? Do you have does that, are you happy, or are you like, man, I just wasted 9-10 weeks of my life preparing for a war, and I knocked this guy out in 41 seconds?
It's an amazing feeling, and 2 different feelings. I fought in Madison Square Garden, I want to say maybe about a year ago, and that was a 40-second knockout also, and I was super excited, but I was also like at the same time like, man, I wish I could have kind of, maybe went 2 or 3 rounds just to see where I was at, and maybe try to work on some more stuff. So yeah, there's that little upset, but this last Glory fight, having that 40-second knockout was amazing because I had to fight 2 more times, so I just wanted to get immediately back in the locker room and kind of cool down, rehydrate. There was no real time to celebrate. It's kind of sour.
Right. That's one of those nights where it's like, it's got to keep rolling, just got to keep rolling. I mean, how did you do that? Because you have this huge, because when you knock somebody out, you have to have this huge uplifting adrenaline rush. And then when you get back into the back, you're going to have an adrenaline dump. And all of a sudden, it's like, ugh. That was
one of the biggest things I was preparing for, was having, just riding those emotions and feeling that dump. And it was just all about, we kind of got the job done in the first fight. Now it's like, all right, go back, relax, kind of slow things down, and we got to start over again. So it's an interesting experience, the tournaments.
Yeah. Which would you rather do, Brett? Would you rather do tournaments, or would you rather do get ready for one fight in a night and that's it?
Honestly, it's obviously fighting 3 times in one night is definitely, it could be hard on the body, but it keeps it new and it keeps it refreshing. You got to kind of game plan a little different. You don't want to go out there right away and start banging it out. You want to be smart because you got to fight, 2 more times. But if you see an opportunity to get that knockout, you got to take it, because then that makes your night that much shorter. But I also like a 5-round, world title fight drawn out,
Oh, yeah. Title fights are always the best. Again, we're talking to Brett Hlavacek here on Latenight Cageside, powered by BJPenn.com radio. Now, how does your family feel about you doing this as a profession, fighting?
My family?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. My mom has been like my number one fan. She's supported me my whole career. My father is happy with it. He goes to all my fights. They love it. But, at first, he was not too keen on it. I didn't go to college. I didn't go that route. And, he didn't really know what the hell I was doing. Now he's finally starting to see it pay off, and I think he's excited about it. And there seems to be a future.
That's awesome, man. Having family support is always the number one goal. And the fact that they come to, does your mom come to all your fights?
Yep. She goes to all my fights. I fought in England last year. She traveled to England with me. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's super cool. So when you're getting ready for a fight, how far out do you start getting ready for the fight, like training wise?
These bigger fights now, I'm getting definitely a lot more notice. So, 6 weeks, a good 6 weeks training camp is pretty much my perfect scenario. But a lot of times you don't have that. So you got to kind of either be ready or, you're going to throw together a quick couple-week camp. So 6 weeks would be perfect for me.
And when you're going through the 6 weeks, and I've seen, I've seen MMA fighters train, and obviously there's striking and then there's grappling and all that. Obviously, you're just working the pure striking aspect of it. But how many times a day do you train just your striking?
Here's the thing, when a lot of these MMA guys come into town and they kind of come into our gym, whether they're working with Phil or I get to work with them and spar with them, they're doing like 3 or 4 workouts. We just finished a 2-hour workout, and they're like, all right, I'm going to go. Now I want to work my jiu-jitsu. That's crazy. I work, I do a 2-hour workout, which is my regular striking workout, whatever it is we're working on that day. And then I do a fitness, just a run. And then mixed in there, different workouts, different days, like some weights, some definite, more conditioning stuff, but I'm not working out like 4 or 5 times a day or going to this guy, going to see that guy. It's all in one place. It's great.
Now, when you said that some MMA guys come in, who are are there any big name fighters that have come in that you've trained with?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a regular sparring partner with George St. Pierre, Sapo, Rafael Natal. Who else has been in? We have Ricardo come through. Frankie comes through once a week. We got a ton of guys working with Phil. I don't get to work with. I moved around with Frankie once or twice, but I'm a lot heavier than him. But like I said, when George comes in, I get good sparring with George.
And what do you think? Do you think George St. Pierre? He's known as one of the better strikers in mixed martial arts. Do you think he could hold his own in a kickboxing match?
I think so.
How much power does he have?
It's sparring. We're trying to knock each other out.
Oh, of course.
100. We're not going 100%, but no, there's definitely times where he caught me, and I was like, well, it was a good shot. He's just incredible, just like Phil, an amazing athlete. You show him something once, and he's already doing it. He picks up things super quick.
Yeah, again, we're talking to Brett Hlavacek here on Latenight Cageside, powered by BJPenn.com radio. There was actually a YouTube, not to go off of you here a little bit, off of the subject of you, but there was a YouTube video that I saw of George St. Pierre with Joe Rogan, where Joe Rogan is teaching him the spinning back kick. And I'm like,
on the bag, right?
Yeah. You've seen this?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
So one, I don't know if it's real, because you have a comedian who, I mean, he is a black belt. I do know he's a black belt in, I believe, Taekwondo. But I get that but you're seeing a guy who's a professional fighter being taught by a comedian how to do a spinning back kick. It's just kind of humorous to me. And George St. Pierre's like, oh man, look at this. I'm really learning a lot from you.
It's kind of funny. I think George is also, he's a professional, and everybody has something to teach, I guess. He's pretty humble that way. Even if it was a joke or was lighthearted, he's still, somebody can teach you,
Did you learn?
Everybody has one thing to teach,
Yeah. Did you learn anything from him when you guys sparred together?
Nothing in particular that I was working on. I was mostly there just to kind of, be his dummy. But no, he just gave me different looks, and which is good. Always change things up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, going back to you and your fight that's coming up, it's going to be an interesting fight between you and Paul. And I know that I asked you what is he bringing to the table, but what exactly are you going to be training for? Are you going to train anything specific? When you said you don't think about who you're fighting, you just start training. Is that how you go into every fight? You just like, hey, I don't care who I'm fighting, I don't care what style they're bringing. I'm going to train my way, and I'm going to go in there and fight my fight.
That's kind of the truth, but like I said, right now I'm not too concerned about what he's doing. I'm not watching tape every day. The last 2 weeks, that's when we kind of we'll start game planning. Unless they have something huge that we know about that we have to train for ahead of time. Right now, it's just all about me. I just do my regular workouts and, what I have to work on from my last fight, what I did wrong, how can I improve myself? And then, like I said, 2 weeks before, I'll start looking at tape, and then we can start kind of formulating a game plan. The thing is, everybody's different. So he may do something with one guy in his last fight and then come out and he might be a totally different fighter.
Well, yeah, and I'm excited to see this fight. I'm excited for this entire card. It looks like it's pretty cool and it's going to be an entertaining. I got to see.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome night of fights. Anybody who's into kickboxing, Muay Thai, striking, if you guys are into striking and that's what you want to see, definitely, Glory 9 is going to be a great card.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and they're going to be putting on one in LA soon too. They're really taking time and trying to promote the sport and their brand in the United States, which is going to be awesome.
Now, Brett, we always end every interview, and I want to thank you for coming on and talking to us here on BJPenn.com.
Hello?
Yes, I'm still here. I want to thank you for coming on and talking to us here on Late Night Cageside, powered by BJPenn.com. And what we do is we always end the interviews the same way. We do what's called a 10-second knockout. We ask you 5 questions. You just give us a quick answer to them, and and we go from there. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Number 1, what is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie would have to be Anchorman.
All right. Favorite food?
Pizza.
What age did you get into your first fight?
11.
If you could fight one historical figure, who would it be?
One historical figure. I always get asked this one, and I never know what to answer. Pass. We're going to have to pass that one. I can't.
All right, I'm going to give you a pass. I'll give you a mulligan. If you were stranded on an island, what's the one item that you would have to have with you?
My fiance.
Nice. That's it, man. And that's the 10-second knockout. Hey, again, Brett, thank you for coming on here. We always love having to talk to fighters. You know, like I told you when I texted you before, I love talking to fighters. Yeah. It's one of my passions. I love I love fighting, period. Doesn't matter if it's kickboxing, Muay Thai, you know, it don't matter. Mixed martial arts, whatever. But I want to thank you for giving us the time. But now what we're going to do is we always give the time right back to you. This is your time, brother. You go ahead and take as much time as you want. You can thank your sponsors, your family, your friends, whoever you want. It's your time, bro. Go ahead.
All right. I just want to thank my trainer, Phil Nurse. I want to thank Susan and Mike Reno, my fiance, Kim, and my mom and dad, and everybody at the Watt Gym in New York City. That's pretty much it. No sponsors, nothing.
All right, look at that. Brett Hlavacek, he's got a big fight coming up against Paul Marfort on Glory 9. It's in the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York, Saturday, June 22nd. Good luck to you, Brett. I hope you get a victory, and we can talk to you again after the fights.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, you too, Brett. Have a good night.
All right, man. Bye.
And there you have it, Brett Hlavacek. What a great guy. I mean, this guy has a great career ahead of him in kickboxing. If he decides to go MMA, I mean, and he's got the striking to do it. And, you know, he's 8-1 with 3 KOs. The guy is just a phenomenal striker, and he's learning from one of the best in the business in Phil Nurse. And if you don't know who Phil Nurse is, you go to YouTube, you YouTube that name, Phil Nurse, and you will see some highlight videos of striking that is amazing. So, again, Brett Hlavacek, Glory 9, Hammerstein Ballroom, New York, Saturday, June 22nd. Make sure you guys watch it because it's going to be a barn burner.